Uh, no intro too. I'll let Mike do it properly, lads. Hello and welcome to the Green Machine Live, the post-reaction show. Republic of Ireland wins 3-2. Stephen Kenny gets out of jail. Armenia are relegated. What is it with Armenia when they play in the Aviva? It's always chaos of some sort, isn't it? We were cruising, lads, to a 2-0 win. Everything looked absolutely rosy. Then Jeff Hendrick does what he does best. And then Conor Harahan compounds the misery. And before you know it, we're scrambling. And then a penalty comes at the last minute and everything's all right again. So there you go, lads. Ireland's greatest ever Nations League. All's right in the world. Everybody's happy, right? Never in doubt.
2 wins, eh? I mean, we didn't have a win. It's a bizarre game. I was only talking to Breen off air there. I'm just really flat after the 21, so I don't really know what to think at the moment. This is all a bit bizarre. This is all very, very strange. But Dave, can I just say, do you remember a couple of months ago, you said Robbie Brady wouldn't play for Ireland again? Remember that?
Do you remember that, Breen? Do you remember you saying that?
I didn't say that. I definitely said that.
I do.
I don't think I had any strong opinion on Robbie Brady playing for Ireland at all, actually.
Well, David did.
Don't remember that, Nick. Really don't remember.
Very strong opinions. How do you feel about that now, Dave? Scoring the winner.
I feel that
after saying he'd never play again.
Tonight it's not about talking about the past, Nick. It's about building on the future. And that's what we're here to do. I'll tell you what, I've never seen anybody fucking run back in from... they're all leaving, and then they all came running back in when the penalty was given. I mean, it was definitely a penalty. 2 lads get sent off. Absolute bonker stuff, really, lads, wasn't it? Going through the motions. Then all of a sudden you get a goal back. And then Harahan does that. And we're imploding, we're scrambling. And, you know, we got a little bit of luck. Finally, Nick, as you said in the WhatsApp group, a bit of luck that we needed, that he finally needed.
Yeah. I look, there's a lot of people who'll be absolutely devastated that we got that winner tonight.
Yeah.
You can see in the different pages, people are saying, it's playing great, aren't we? Playing great. But I mean, on Saturday they were saying, it doesn't matter how you win, it's all about results. So I don't think it's all about Stephen Kenny tonight. I think it's about how poor the likes of Jeff Hendrick were. I think it's how poor the likes of Conor Harahan were. As I said, lads, I'm just still feeling flat about that playoff. I completely forgot about the senior game.
There is. Yeah, I think there's a point to be made there, Nick, that like there is certain senior players who definitely need to be phased out. I don't know if the ready-made replacements are there. I don't think Hendrick plays if Cullen's not suspended. Harahan, he seems to be in a little bit of form for Derby, but he's playing League One. But I think there is legitimate criticism. I've kind of said this. I'm a massive defender of Stephen Kenny, but there is legitimate criticism of how Kenny manages games sometimes in terms of making changes. Gary Breen's gone mental on Premier Sports here about changing, getting Obafemi off because he was clearly struggling for a few minutes. But they only made 1 sub before 65 minutes. You've got 5 subs in the game. Let's bring players on. Let's give it a run. Let's fresh it up. Especially when again, my focus was also mostly on the playoff. To be honest, for the first hour of that game, but it did seem to be a bit stale. So why not bring it on? Why not freshen it up? O'Dowda seems to be playing really well for Cardiff this season. Let's get him on. Let's try something. Especially at 2-0 up. Yes, the players have let Kenny down and we've escaped with the victory there. But why not at 2-0 just go and try and freshen things up and get some energy in there?
Yeah, 100%. It was the same on Saturday, though. I mean, the game management was questionable, wasn't it? I mean, I know a lot of people are saying, like, Ogbene should have come on for Parrott and all this kind of thing. We spoke on Saturday about how maybe Ogbene and Obafemi wouldn't complement each other as well. But, yeah, the in-game management has to be called into question. I don't think, that Armenia team is very poor, though, isn't it? I mean, if you look at their record, I think they've lost every game bar 3 or something in the last 2 years. So could have been a very, very different narrative.
We'll say Armenia's first goal was actually, for all the criticism of us, they're allowing them to score that goal. 2 great strikes. The first
two great finishes, yeah.
And then the second one is, he's hit that so well first time as it's coming at him. It's a difficult one, but it's disappointing we've given that away. And then Howard, that second goal, it's a dreadful pass. Like, it's not even towards anyone in particular. He's just hisses like no pace on it whatsoever.
You
If
can't
you
even
can't
blame
say
sharp. You can't even blame sharpness because, as you said, Breen, I mean, he's in a bit of form for Derby. I know it's in League One, but I mean, sure, Jason Nice playing in League One as well. We had League One players in the squad last season, like Chidozie Benny and James McLean playing in League One. So it's disappointing because Harrigan's one of those players I've always kind of wanted to see do well because he's got a lovely left peg. He's very good from set pieces. His
it's not enough,
assists
though.
used to be through the chart. No, it's not enough. That's the thing. It's not enough.
If you're going to play Stephen Kenny's style of football, if you're going to play the style of football, you cannot have cumbersome, statuesque players in the middle of the park like Hendrick, like Erhan. We've been saying this time and time again. Now, look, Hendrick had to play, right? Obviously, he played Malumbi behind the two lads in midfield, right? Which actually made sense. He had to come off because he was on a yellow card. He probably wasn't going to get sent off.
He should have been sent off, Malumbi.
So Erhan had to come on. There was no other option because we don't have any other options really. Well, maybe in the under-21s, but obviously they're in Tel Aviv tonight. Hendrick just showed there tonight how poor a footballer he is. The simple stuff, the simple passes, just he had so much time and space because this is a very poor Armenian side. He just didn't know what to do. He just kept going left and he should have gone right. There was one there actually, I was watching it here where he was supporting Nathan Collins, right, an defender, running forward. There was no option, so he flicks it back to Hendrick. Hendrick's just standing there. And he's, I better go for that now.
Do you know the most annoying thing? Like, I've watched Reading are on the telly a lot. I don't know if it's because Paul Ince and that connection or whatever, but Hendrick's playing quite well for Reading. And when he's, it's just a flatness to his game, isn't it? Like, everything looks so labor with him. I mean, I just find, and the other, like, it might be going off topic. I'd be interested to get your view on this, Breen, as because you work in social media, I suppose, but all these little montages of him on a match day, putting these 5-yard passes together, just shots of him and stuff. Oh, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I wouldn't be. That's every. If I follow so many footballers and I've been involved in things.
I don't see many Irish lads doing that though.
Top of my head, I don't know, but I mean, that won't be him doing it himself. He's not sitting there putting us together. That'd be his management company going, right, let's do this, whatever. Be mass produced for everyone, and then he's not putting it out. But I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't read too much into that.
It's a side thing. It's just embarrassing. I think. I'm just snotty because we fucking lost that playoff.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at it here, right? I think. Talk amongst yourselves. Sorry, I'm just looking back at the
goals.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
Collins didn't clear it. Hendrick just catching flies.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, just looking at it. Sorry, just got a monitor beside me here. Hendrick. I'm not. You can't blame Hendrick completely for that. But yet again, that's the problem. You have somebody as cumbersome as Hendrick. He's not active. He's not at it. He's never at it.
It's just a lack of urgency. Like I can't help but feel like if Malumbi doesn't get that yellow nice and early. And if he's anchoring, I thought he did very well because in our preview, I kind of said, I don't think Malumbi has the what's the word I'm looking for? The temperament to actually hold the midfield. He actually showed tonight that he doesn't, but I think if he's on the pitch, if he hasn't got a yellow and if he's staying in there, there's a little bit more control to the midfield. I mean, Harrigan's not a holding midfielder. He tried to switch it up a few times.
I think
it was just a cumbersome midfield, really. Yeah, Malumbi coming off took a lot of mobility out of it.
And that's the problem, isn't it? That's your midfield's the engine room. Okay, you got Cullen sitting back, string the pass together, two lads, not nice, and Malumbi running around, breaking stuff up, getting the ball literally rolling and moving and getting the play going. Hendrick, someone like that, or Harrigan, just stand there. It's not enough to just have a left peg. Maybe under Mick McCarthy's tenure, when it was all about set pieces and burst football, if you want to be playing after the back, you can't have players like Shane Duffy. Now I know he hasn't featured in 2 games, rightfully so, by the way. You have to have ball playing players, really, and in all positions. You have to have a mobile 10, 11 actually. You have to have a goalkeeper who's also good in the ball.
Well, look at Darragh O'Shea set up the second one, so I mean, it just shows the importance of having ball playing centre halves.
There was Collins.
I was very, very impressed with Collins the other day in Glasgow. It's the first time I've seen him in person, and I couldn't believe he was Irish. I've obviously seen him this season for Wolves, and he's even just you look at the fantasy football, Premier League fantasy football, he's getting bonus points every week there, and I have him in my team. Jesus, this guy's he can't be out. But he seems like so composed on the ball. He's so mobile, and he reads the game really well, and that's brilliant. But yeah, there is a dearth maybe in there in midfield. And listen, I know it's not as simple as well, this player is doing quite well for the 21s, so therefore he's going to make a step up. That's obviously not how it works. But the 21s midfield today, if you say Hodge, Coventry, Smallbone, Finazaz when he came on,
very good, doesn't he? Yeah.
They were excellent. They were so good at moving the ball, and Hodge looked a little bit the pace kind of got to him towards the end of the game. Hasn't been playing that often. I think recently, hasn't he? He said it was his first game for Ireland in 3 years on Friday. But the way he broke down the ball, the way they moved the ball, Smallbone on the ball, he just
excellent.
Rolls Royce of a footballer. And yes, okay, it's not just as simple as these players play well for the 21s, therefore they will play well for the senior team. I get that. But if you're looking for optimism going, we're building towards something, it is that, well, maybe these players will make that break and will come through, and we will be able to match that ball-playing defence with a ball-playing midfield, and then hopefully be able to have the Irish Haaland come in when he's at least 19.
I think as well, look, I said it the other day, the midfield three, it settles. There's no contest. But if anything happens to one of those, as we saw today, or two of those, because one had to come up because of booking, we're in serious trouble. And we were in serious trouble. They actually helped cause our downfall almost. Anyway,
it's the missing link to midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, and hopefully because not every under 21s player makes it. Hopefully, you're hoping hopefully all three of those lads make it, or two of them at least. We just need backup. Sorry, just doing a sweep of the area, security sweep of the area here. We need backup. We need at least one or two other players in case one of those lads go out of form, either injured or suspended or whatnot. But I think it's fair to say, November, lads, very, very important. 2 games, Norway on the 17th, Malta on the 20th. Kenny has to experiment, doesn't he? He's got to bring those lads in. Harahan and Hendrick just need to be gone. They were awful tonight, really, really bad. And, Coleman, obviously, he's got another problem with the right back at the moment. Coleman, Doherty was rubbish tonight as well. He didn't have a lot to do, to be fair, but anytime he saw
sharpness, isn't it?
Yeah, he just didn't seem to do much.
Huge elements of it.
Right, lads, we're going to get through the comments. There's a fair few of them. Let's start with the first one. Oh, there's a shock. There you go, Donovan. Kenny out. Kenny in. Jeremiah Feely. Thank God for VAR. I never want to hear another bad word, lads, about VAR.
Can we actually just talk about that 2 minutes of just complete chaos? It was a penalty. It's a penalty all day long. Yeah. It is. His hands out. But then just the Armenian fucking fallout. Absolutely.
It's brilliant.
Objectively great to watch. You love to see that sort of entertainment where I actually thought there's going to be more than 2 of them gone here. They were all losing.
I thought there was at one stage. I thought there was a third gone. And then when you know how they show the cards up on the scoreboard, I actually thought there was 3 red cards, but it was just there. It was there kind of. They have the little red emblem or whatever, but yeah, it was a bit of madness, wasn't it? Similar to the last time they came over, didn't it? When the keeper got sent off.
I was getting flashbacks of Israel 2005 because how we were playing great and then we imploded, and actually it was more like Armenia. What was it, 2013 or
11?
2011, yeah, whenever it was.
11, yeah.
Paul Cullerton on a YouTube channel. To have any chance of qualifying, you have to be beating teams like Armenia home and away. Kenny does not seem to be learning from his disaster. In-game management. Can't do much about what he's got on his plate in terms of midfielders, and I think that's a massive problem for us, as we saw tonight. But yeah, he is in-game management really, really needs to improve. Michael Drew on Facebook. You just know there are several Ireland fans who were discussing we scored a winning penalty. They would prefer to give out about Kenny. 100% actually.
There's people who are devastated we've won in the last minute there. Devastated.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of champagne meant on ice at the last moment there.
Kenny wouldn't be sacked if we lost that game. He wouldn't be sacked.
He's not
given the Euros.
He's going to the end of the Euros campaign.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Brendan Rodgers is not going to come in and manage Ireland. We can't fucking afford him. And why would they get rid of Stephen Kenny? Madness. Martin Delaney might be able to afford him. You never know. A few brown envelopes.
Oh yeah, Martin the Greek. Where is he actually?
Martin the Greek. Probably selling tickets for the Norway match somewhere before they go on pre-sale.
I'm sure there'll be plenty available. Noel McHale. Guys, Hendrick and Horan keep spoofing managers. Hendrick hasn't done anything to hit the crossbar against Sweden in Euros. It's desperate how these lads still consider. No, I can't disagree with anything you said there. 100%.
Lack of depth.
Spot. But it is a lack of depth.
As we've talked about already, it is just, unfortunately, available midfield options at
Certain
the moment.
availability.
Hopefully,
Just out of interest, like even Breen, like you and Dave, you're watching 21s as well, sneakily on your laptop. Like out of the midfielders there, like because Crawford did kind of allude that some of those lads will come into the senior squad in November. Like Smallbone has to be one, but is there anyone else there? Will Coventry come in? Is he playing enough?
I don't think he's playing enough, to be honest. I mean, Hodge, I don't think Hodge will come in because he's only made his 21s debut. He's only 18.
So raw, yeah.
Hodge is great. Hodge is kind of has the tenacity and mobility of kind of Cullen and Malumbi, but he's only 18.
Yeah.
Now, again, you don't know how his career is going to go. Obviously, he seems to be doing well at Wolves after a little difficult patch with injuries there. And, didn't really work out with him at Derry. But, there is hope there. He looks like the player. But Smallbone, for me, is just... He nutmegged someone in the first half. It's like, God, and he did it with such ease. And then he just played a pass. Smallbone is kind of, I think, maybe a player that we're missing more than anyone else. It's that creative player who can open up little avenues for strikers that we don't really have, and we haven't had since probably Hula.
Fair enough. Stephen Cuddy. So lucky. Very lucky. Niall Donica? Breen, come on, you've got an Irish name. How do you say that? Donica. Jesus. Sorry, Niall. Horahan only... I've been living in England for too long. Horahan only interested in spraying diagonal balls. Shouldn't be near the squad, not a team player. 100%. Paul Culleton. That penalty may have saved us a spot in the playoffs with Stephen Kenny as manager for the Euros campaign. There's no chance of qualifying from the group. He's out of his depth. Time has told.
Paul's a big supporter of Kenny, so that's just an interesting one to see.
I don't know. Look, try it. What have we got to lose? We're only 30 feet anyway.
No. I think we're still going strong. Look, 2 mistakes, 2 individual errors there. Okay, that's not the manager's fault, to be fair. Players are on the field because there's no one else. But anyway, Dennis Granell, absolute shite. Last-ditch stuff against Nyman, absolutely poxy. Tell us what you really think, Dennis. Brown, Hendrick, and Horahan should have never been in the squad. Again, I'm very angry and wish we got beaten. I think Kenny has got to go amateur squad.
Dennis.
You can't count.
Come on, Dennis.
Count to 10, Dennis. No, come on now.
Have a wank, Dennis. You'll be fine.
Jesus. It works for me, Dennis, to be fair. Kurt Leach, Brady, Hendrick, and Horahan aren't good enough. Oh, Kurt now. Kurt said it, not me. Midfield struggled with Hendrick there instead of Cullen to press, and then Brady not running down the wing.
It's the same argument every time. We just don't have. We can't afford not to pick the likes of Hendrick and Horahan because we don't have the depth. And as Breen said there, like Coventry is first of all, Coventry small ball. Any of the 21s lads couldn't have played today, out of the question. But like Coventry isn't playing enough. Smallbone, is playing for Stoke now, and you'd hope Gavin Kilkenny will probably come back from injury and get a bit of game time for Stoke. But we just don't have the depth in midfield yet. In 2 or 3 years we will, but that is our big that's our big weakness at the moment. It was up front. It was up front for the last 5 or 6 years. You'd hope Obafemi's going to keep a bit of momentum going. You'd hope Parrott will come back into form. But midfield now is our massive issue.
Absolutely. Lance, need to get through these comments. I have a bag of chips waiting for me. And I'm freezing my bollocks off here in Aviva, I just want to say. Lansdowne Road. I'm wearing the top as well. Paul Culleton, that has to be Conor Horan last game for Ireland surely in November. Call up Covent Country. He's 9 years younger and can't play under 21 football anymore. 100%, Paul. Dennis Grinnell, absolutely distraught. Get rid now. It's not going to get any better. Come on, Dennis. Have that wank. You'll be fine. Stephen Cuddy, don't think Kenny will ever be any good. Bring back. Don't. Yeah, see what you're doing there, Stephen. Chris Harrells. Yeah, the only criticism of Kenny is he's a subs, but there is just a massive lack of quality on pitch, especially in the engine room. I added that last bit. Declan Fitzpatrick, Obafemi and Benny should be our strikers and drop Parrott. Let's give it a go in November, to be fair. Brain Farrell, holy Jesus, what the fuck? Carahan, Hendrick, and Doherty should never be near a squad again. Yeah, fair. I'm sick of the 3 of them. Under 21, so unlucky. Horrendous pens from us. What does Ogbeni have to do to get a game? Bringing Hogan on No idea why. O'Dowda is a good shout. He's a good player and moves the ball. His subs are baffling. I seriously can't understand them. I want him to do well, but he's testing me epoxy patience.
Hogan's in form. I think he was due. I think he was due a bit of
No,
game time. He should have buried that.
Missed the sitter.
How is Hogan still getting called up for Ireland? Like in the year of our Lord 2022, Scott Hogan.
Well, that's injuries. Like if Ida and Jesus, who am I thinking of? If Ida's fit, if Ida's fit, like he's probably not in the squad, is he?
I'm interested. I assume O'Benny had a knock or something. That's why he didn't come on. It just seems a bit strange. He didn't come on at all.
Yeah, seemed the type of game from. It's just where to play him. Like where would you play him with Femi Breen?
Well, we haven't tried it, so let's go for it. I mean, like, I think we have options. We may as well try them now in the next few games.
Yeah. 100%. Let's get through the comments, lads. A lot to get through. Martin Prendergast had to put on COD for Jeff. Doesn't make changes quick enough. Yep. In-game management, lads.
He loves Callum O'Dowda.
He does. Probably fucking stalking him right now in the changing room.
Dennis probably has a pair of used shorts. Dennis Grinnell. Doherty is a fucking idiot too. Dennis, it's called Pornhub. Trust me, you'll be glad. Martin Prendergast. Kenny got some luck at last with the penalty decision. Yeah, he did actually. He does deserve a bit of luck. Queeveen Seamus, time to send out Stephen Bradley for the job.
Jesus.
You saucy bastard, you. Sam McCarthy, I drafted something nice about a great performance, had to delete 75 minutes in. Instead, I have never prayed for a goal so desperately. On the whole, the under 21s are so close, but my God, they've done us proud. Only Phil would be able to see what we are trying to do under Kenny and Crawford. The last decade is being eroded now. We have a young first team and an excellent under 21s and 19s. The future is green. We need a good campaign, Euro qualifiers, and all that we've said for the 2 years. I think we've just lost the end of that. But yeah, I agree there. I had to do the same thing. Actually, Sam, I was writing a piece. And it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a boring game, very professional, blah, 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 blah. And then I just had to tear the whole thing to shit. So thanks for that, lads. Graham Farrell, Hendrick does nothing, absolutely nothing. Were the first goal he made, half attempt to close the lad down. True. Doherty let the lads nip in ahead of him for the rebound. It's horrendous. Then Harahan's aimless pass to Armenian dude for the equaliser. It's the same kind of mistakes game in and game out. I really want Kane to do well, but Jesus Christ, he lives dangerously. He does like to live dangerously. Marty Ray.
It's not been a good international window for Matt Doherty at all.
No, appalling. Appalling.
Really not a good one for him.
No. Marty Ray, Kenny could take credit for blooding new players at this level, but he's so far out of step. It's unreal tactical naivety and poor game management. He's been given credit for playing great football, which again was lacking tonight. Great win against Scotland at the Aviva, but we caught them cold on the back of a World Cup playoff defeat. Another shambles of a campaign to go along with it to qualify for the Euros, but a relatively easy playoff. A poor World Cup qualifying campaign and two abysmal Nations Leagues. This is our greatest ever Nations League, so don't knock it there, Marty. Darren Enright. Queven Seamus, great shout. We'll gather momentum. Stephen Bradley, fucking hell. Graham Farrell, why not go 4-4-2 and play Collins in midfield? The lads can spray a ball around. Quality defender, obviously, but we've nobody in midfield that can pick a pass. Collins can, so why not try that with Collins in the holding role?
No, I disagree. It's very hard to ask someone to step in to play in a role that they don't play in week out. I mean, it looks like his first choice is obviously going to be suspended there for the next few games.
Cyrus Christie. Bring him back.
Bring him back.
He did a great job last time.
But I think that you can't just throw someone in at thing and say, oh, well, look, he does this well, he does that well. He probably would do a job, but I think it's very, very hard to
absolutely
ask him to come in and do a job there.
Yeah. Right, last couple of comments here, lads. Graham Farrell again. Been watching Joe Hodge since the 70s. He's very impressive chap. Is only 18. He's a class act. Small bone too. The heat and the bigger pitch, and the fact we couldn't get out the better of the under 21s tonight. Yeah, they were very lucky actually at times. Peter Waring, when Troy scores, his confidence will pick up. Good man, Peter. Brandon Walsh, Hendrick and Harahan surely have to be left out for the friendlies in November and get a look at Smallbone, Ronan and Coventry. 100%. Paul Walsh, time to replace Kenny before the Euro draw. Totally inexperienced at this level. Don't know about that. He's been in the job nearly 3 years at this level, and not a lot has changed since day one. Still struggling against so-called weaker opposition.
With all due respect, if you don't think a lot has changed, you haven't been watching Ireland.
Yeah,
like a lot has clearly changed.
A lot has changed.
You can say
we won in the Nations League.
Yeah, we won in the Nations. The results haven't changed, and that is fine. But we really are in a long-term thing here. This is not a 2-year cycle as we've been going boom and bust that we were going through for the last, 20 years or so. This is about actually we're trying to build something. And listen, we're going to have days like we've had for the last 3 years where you're going, there's definite kind of moments of you can see what we're trying to do, but there's a lot of pain. But you can't say that nothing has changed because it very clearly has. The game the other day was extremely exciting to watch because the brand of football we were playing. There was times tonight where you went, yeah, like that's really excellent. The under-21s are playing phenomenal football, and that's been set in motion by, stuff they did with youth players 10 years ago and Stephen Kenny coming in at the under-21s. We all remember what Noel King's 21s were like. They never played anywhere like what Jim Crawford had his team playing with tonight. Don't tell me nothing's changed because, with all due respect,
it has.
A huge amount has changed.
It has.
Yeah.
Marty Ray, Kenny can take credit for blooding new players at this level, but he so far is that it's unreal. I have read that one out before. Sorry, that one came out. Sorry. Archduke 8199. We were fucking blessed. We were blessed to be watching a quality team and a quality manager to go to work tonight. Archduke 8199. That's what we were blessed about. Graham Farrell, lads, where's Conor Ronan gone? He's a class player and can't get in. Find it strange. He's not playing, is he?
Yeah, I mean, we did an article there a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, in collaboration with Liam Keane. If Liam's listening, he's the Wolves rep for the Examiner, I think, over in the UK. And he was basically saying, look, he said Ronan was kind of afforded the chance in pre-season, same as Hodge. He basically said he doesn't reckon Hodge will get a run this season at all because he's still so raw. And he said with Ronan, he said Ronan is still that little bit off. And he thought when we did that article, he reckoned Ronan was about to leave on loan. And this was like a week before the transfer window ended. So he is a little bit off of Ronan. He might, he's going to feature on the bench a bit for them. I think he'll go somewhere else in January. I think he'll either go on loan or he'll go permanently. He's an excellent little player. Really, really good for St. Mirren last season, wasn't he? But they just don't fancy him. Bruno Lang just doesn't.
I think Bruno Lang said during the week, even or last week, I think I was reading that he thinks Ronan has a future with the club.
Mm.
What if that actually comes to fruition? I don't know, but we don't know. We don't work with these players day in, day out. We don't know. They might suit a system, and realistically, football at the highest level is mostly about a bit of luck.
Yeah. Let's get through. Sorry, lads. Let's get through last comment. I really need to go. I've got to get the last bus home. Paul Walsh, the quality of the squad tree determines the position the national side is in, not just good enough. Just not good enough to compete at a decent level anymore. Can't sugarcoat it. Paul Walsh again. How is Henrik still being selected? How many times did he give away possession today? Graham Farrell, you're spot on, mate. Hope he succeeds, man. Thank you. Ken Gorey, 4 shots on target against Armenia. This just isn't good enough, but we've got 3 goals.
Scored 3 out of 4 of them.
There you go. Glenn Forbes. Yes, I agree. The football has evolved tremendously, much better than hoof and hope and losing the ball after 2 passes.
Really quickly, Dave, we were averaging, I think, 1 shot per game, not even on target, 1 shot per game under Mick McCarthy.
Yeah, it was horrendous stuff. Absolutely horrendous stuff. Colin Murphy with the last, with the hand of God as his picture on Facebook, the last comment of the night. Paul Walsh, I disagree. I think we can compete. Maybe not against the top teams, but a different manager. We could eventually get to League 8 like Scotland. Oh, I thought you were on a side for a moment, Colin. You just stick the knife in. Right, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. I need to go. I'm sure you guys need to go too. If you're going home from New be safe, lads. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to leave it there. We're going to Breen. Lovely to have you back. Haven't had you for about. I think you had long hair the last time you were on.
Yeah.
And a full finger.
Okay. Oh Jesus. Fair enough. I think I had long hair as well, actually, at the time. But anyway, we're going to leave it there, lads. Thank you very much. We will have a more complete picture. Maybe tomorrow night we'll do another stream, and we'll have Martin on that, and he'll tell us how many tickets he sold, and I'm sure it'll be all fantastic.
And talk about Calmadeuda.
Absolutely. Lads, good night. God bless. Good night.